Love doing that shit.
So it's been about 6 days as of recording this video, the Delta Force has been released for sale. Since its release, it is clear that gamers love this FPS game, and honestly, so do I. There is quite a lot to love about Delta Force. The devs seem to have made it a priority to deliver on what a Battlefield-esque experience should be. Of course, with some minor but evident flaws. So let's discuss it further. Before we continue to talk about Delta Force, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hoping to reach 500 subs by the end of the year, so let's get it. The first thing that should be looked at is the performance and optimization of Delta Force. I'm happy to report that Delta Force runs quite well, whether that be on ultra settings or all the way down to low. Outside of a few extremely chaotic and compact encounters with multiple soldiers, the frame rate is quite stable. I never saw my frame rate dip lower than 120 FPS on medium settings when I'm not streaming. Keep in mind, I am using a 3070 Ti paired up with a Ryzen 7 3700X CPU, so do with that what you will. I also take into account of the performance when I stream. For those of you that don't already know this, streaming and gaming on one system is quite taxing, so it is expected for performance to suffer, sometimes greatly depending on how well the game is optimized or not. I consider a game to be well optimized if I'm able to play the game on offer with a solid 70 to 100 FPS on medium to low settings at 1080p when streaming. The performance of Delta Force typically falls within these parameters, so that is a major plus in my book, although there are moments depending on the map where performance does take a bit of a nosedive towards 30 and 40 FPS. Now when it comes to gameplay, I'll only talk about Warfare. I'm not too interested in the extraction shooter game mode as of now. That's not to say that I won't be later on, but Warfare is kind of where I'm sticking with. Warfare, specifically King of the Hill, which is their version of Conquest, and Attack and Defend, which is their version of Breakthrough, both of these modes are incredible. This is all down to the map design. Battlefield 2042 has some of the worst map design for this style of game I've ever seen, so it was a bit of a breath of fresh air when 4 out of the 5 maps in Delta Force displayed great map design. Team Jade seems to have a good understanding of how map flow works and what makes for constant high traffic action within a given space. I thought Ascension to be the best map for King of the Hill, with the map taking on this almost circular design with many of the hills and buildings that provide great cover for infantry units, but they didn't forget to make sure that the vehicles had a fun time as well. There are also clear roadways that make traversing with a vehicle quite easy and efficient. Incredible map in my opinion, and one of my favorites regardless of game. For Attack and Defend, the trench map was by far the most fun experience because of how different each zone plays. It refreshes the palette of the player as each zone is captured and makes for a fun overall time. I only found myself disliking one of the city maps that has you fighting in a couple of buildings and a garage. The map wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as good as the other maps in Delta Force. It also doesn't help that this map was the first one I played, so the negative impression I have of it is heightened further by how well the other maps play. The gunplay is pretty smooth overall, especially the assault rifles, pistols, SMGs, and shotguns. The snipers need some work as they feel a bit too clunky and at times very weak. I'm talking about 2 to 3 shots I've even experienced with a sniper rifle. The weakness or time to kill in Delta Force is probably the game's major issue. The time to kill is too long by 1 or 2 bullets almost across the board, barring shotguns. For a game that gives you tactical play and movement, like the addition of gun leaning and not being able to slide if you aren't one of the assault operators, the time to kill should be shorter. It will add more to the intensity of the gunfights, prioritizing reaction time and positioning over damn bunny hops and impossibly quick changes of direction. I can't stress this point enough. For a game that is trying to play more tactically and serious, why add super fast movement without a consequence to using it? I don't mind fast movement in a video game, but it needs to come at a cost of high damage. Take Titanfall 2 for example. The movement that you can get with the pilots is ridiculously fast, but they are also super weak and prone to only taking 3 to 4 shots within close range with most guns, sometimes even 2 shots. In a game like Halo, the movement is much slower, but the Spartans are able to take half a damn mag before dying. This makes positioning much more important in that type of game, but you don't get penalized too hard for making a mistake given how much damage you can take. Barring the damage, shooting feels pretty good. Hit detection feels decent as well, but if there is some weirdness to the game, it would be that I feel a bit slow when I'm aiming down the sights. I don't know what it is when I'm trying to drag my cursor along or my reticle along to aim at the player. It just feels a bit weird, like slow. Maybe that's just me, but I would like to be able to alter the zoom or the aim down sights like in Battlefield 5. Gun customization is also a big positive. It is such a deep system with a ridiculous amount of attachments, leading the player to perfectly personalize their weapon to their playstyle. I personally love the first unlocked weapon for the assault class, so I stick to that one heavily, but I have tried other weapons and they're all viable. The Desert Eagle is so much fun to use. Max 3 shots but often a 2-shot kill. It's perfect and it's the only gun that sounds amazing to shoot. Audio is kind of a letdown when comparing this to other Battlefield games. This isn't fair because DICE has some of the best audio in video games like ever, especially Battlefield 1 and 5, but it should be noted that outside of the Desert Eagle, the other guns sound generic and boring. Now onto some of the negatives I have. If there was anything that Delta Force should not have copied from Battlefield 2042, it was the single most hated feature of that game. You know what I'm talking about, the specialist system. I mean, I just don't understand why game devs try to push this stupid feature in a genre where this does not work. In this type of big military sim, it just looks ridiculous to see 20 versions of you all around the battlefield. It makes absolutely no sense and takes the immersion out of the game completely. Gamers play these big military sims to feel immersed in the combat, but that flies out the window when 30 Asian sniper women are all lined up across the same vantage point. It's stupid. Why couldn't the soldiers just be generic soldiers that wear a uniform assigned to them? When shooting at the enemy, I tend to look at the player to see if the name pops up in red or not. This is just dumb. I shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to tell a uniform from distance as different from that of my faction and shoot at the enemy. The abilities that the specialists have should have just been implemented as gadgets or a class system rather than a specialist system that corresponds their gadgets to one individual hero. That way the gadgets can be attributed to the class where you can still look like a generic soldier without looking the same as everyone else. At least as a class system, the soldier could still be faceless. Also, how stupid is it that some of these specialists don't have helmets? You're in a damn war. You should at least have a damn helmet on every one of the characters. Just feels fake. Obviously, we all know why Team Jade is going with this specialist system. They want to monetize cosmetics and skins are the way to do it. I don't mind the selling of skins, especially in a free game, but it could have stayed in line with generic soldier skins that keep the serious mood Delta Force is going for. For a free game, Delta Force presents quite the complete package. I expect more maps and modes to Warfare in the future, each with the same attention to detail and design as the ones at launch. Despite some minor annoyances I've already described, this is easily a much better experience than anything in Battlefield 2042, and it is the must-play game for this genre of shooter at this very moment. I suggest everybody give this game a try. You don't lose anything by giving it a shot, given that it's free. Go have fun, go grab some friends, enjoy it, and hopefully DICE gets the memo that this is more of what we want. So what do y'all think about Delta Force? Leave your comments down below, and while I have y'all here, just wanted to say that I stream Thursdays and Sundays, usually live by 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I better see y'all there. Peace out, everybody.
The objective. Allied forces are attacking objective Bravo.
I got him on top.
Oh, there's a vehicle right here. So.
Oh! It's the fucking helicopter. Oh fuck.
Artillery barrage incoming.
Bro, everybody went on D.
I swear.
Fuck.
They came in swooping. John Chronic. I almost fucking died off the rip. Bro, I did die off the rip.
Objective Charlie 2. Copy. Vehicle drop to target location.
That should kill his ass. Oh! Get fucked. I'm better. Don't touch me, bitch. Al-Baghdadi. He died like a dog.
Allied troops launching an assault on objective Echo.